your foreign trip kind of help you get a head start on what you just touched on?
Yeah, absolutely. I think more than anything, it was really good just to spend time with each other. We spend a lot of time with each other anyway outside of basketball, but when you get to travel and do new things and experience new cultures together, I think that's really good. Obviously, our competition wasn't tremendous, but you still get to go out there and work on things and see if it works. We've put in a lot of different stuff this year that we think is going to help us. That is different than what we ran with McKenna and Monica. So I think that was good for the most part, is getting those girls minutes that maybe hadn't gotten a lot of minutes, whether it's Sid, whether it's getting Molly more minutes, whether it's just getting Hannah more comfortable at the 4 and 5. But really everybody got really good minutes and got an opportunity to play. And I think, that's the biggest thing, is just getting experience and helping them build confidence. And, that's what I try to tell them in practice, is just, play with a confident attitude. What your role was last year, it's going to be different this year. That's just how it has to be. It's, things are going to change. They have to change for us to be successful.
Did you actively try to persuade Kate and Gabby to come back for another year?
Yeah.
And just in general, what are their impacts of this program?
Yeah, I would say I definitely tried to persuade them. Obviously, they're two of my best friends, and Gabby to me was a little bit more of a lock to come back. Kate, not so much, but Kate was probably just trying to be dramatic and wanted me to beg her so she felt better about herself. I'm kidding, but I think the biggest thing is, like, Kate is a really, really good leader, and it's somebody that you want on your team no matter what sport it is, no matter what age group it is, no matter male or female, she would just lead. That's the type of person she is. She just attracts people to follow her, and one of the best teammates I've ever been around. And then obviously Gabby, one of the best shooters, but I don't think she gets enough credit for her defense. I told her she needs to be Defensive Player of the Year, and then she's like, "Nah, Caitlin, that's for you. It's your last one to get." I just started laughing. So we joke about that now. But no, she's one of our, she takes the challenge of guarding the best player, every single game. And the South Carolina game, for example, she doesn't score a single point, maybe shoots the ball 1, 2, 3 times, I don't even remember exactly, but she defended every single possession, and I think she played 38 minutes, and that's just the type of player and teammate that Gabby is she's going to give her all. She's not going to hang her head if she doesn't get her opportunities on offense, but she's going to give everything she has on defense. But at the same time, I think that needs to change this year. We have to find ways to get Gabby the ball and get her shots, because she's one of the best shooters I've ever seen, as we all saw at the end of the season. And Kate too. I think they both are going to have to take a step forward on offense and take a little bit more of a prominent role, because we lose 2 people that gave us a lot on that side of the ball.
Caitlin, I want to ask about the crossover coming in a couple weeks ago, a game that doesn't even count on your record, but you got 50,000 people coming to that game. I mean, just how excited for you to be a part of something that few, if any, basketball players will ever get to experience?
Yeah, I'm super excited. Obviously, a super historic event that probably will only happen once. I think we're obviously around close to 50,000 tickets, which is tremendous, and hopefully we have a late push to get that up even higher. But I've been checking the weather, 30-day forecast. Are those something you should trust? I don't know, but it looks good. So no, I think on Sunday is when I'll start really watching the weather. But I'm excited, and then obviously all the proceeds are going to the Children's Hospital, which is super cool too. So it's for a really great cause, but at the same time, it's an opportunity for us to get better. Like, this is our scrimmage. You have to go out there and compete and work on things. I mean, I'm gonna plan on shooting 2 air balls just because of the wind. But yeah, it's incredible. I'm super excited. I think just watching Nebraska volleyball and what they were able to do, obviously ours is gonna be a little bit on a smaller level, but still, we're going to be able to break the women's basketball record for most people at a game. So shout out to Coach Bluter. She was kind of the mind behind that, and obviously, Beth has supported us and, wanted us to accomplish something great like that. So I'm super excited. Yeah, it can't come fast enough. So
how do you envision your role changing, if at all, this year for this team, with maybe a little bit less size or faster? I don't know.
Yeah.
More scoring.
Yeah, I think honestly, just trying to be the same player that I was last year, and a lot of the stuff that I've worked on in the off season with Tanaya has been really good. I think working more in the half court, obviously we kind of know I thrive in transition offense. That's where I like to score. That's like where I like to get the ball, and that's hard for the defense to guard you and pick you up there. But on the half court, just coming off a screen, setting up screens, I think I understand people are going to be really physical. They're going to face guard me. And I wasn't always comfortable at times last year coming off a screen and be able to shoot being able to shoot the ball right away. So I think those are some of the biggest things that I've worked on, but also I think just being a leader. Losing Monica and McKenna, like those are two huge voices that we had on our team, and Kate can't do everything for us all the time. So, you know, being able to lead, to speak up, you know, be a voice for the younger people, somebody that younger girls can lean on, because I've been through it. I think that's like the biggest area that I can grow in and continue to, you know, just lead and, you know, help this team get better in that area, because I don't want Kate to have to do everything. So I think me and Gabby can definitely, you know, step up and use our voice a little more.
How do you process all the off-court things that have happened to you in the last several months?
Yeah, I think, well, first of all, I feel like it was just April, so it's weird that I'm sitting here at this podium, but I think I've just tried to enjoy every single thing and every opportunity that I've had, because they're very unique, and, you know, I don't know if I'll be able to have a lot of those opportunities for the rest of my life, and yeah, I think that's just the biggest thing, is just soaking it in, and it kind of takes you back for a second, because I feel like I was just that young girl that was playing basketball, and I still feel like a very normal individual, but I can't really, you know, especially in the state of Iowa, go out in public without being recognized, and it's always only really good things, and it's cool to see, you know, people rally behind this team, whether it's just in our state, but, you know, across the country. I'll be traveling and people will even recognize me for who I am, and it's cool to see the amount of attention that you brought to women's basketball and our team brought to women's basketball. So, you know, going into this year, I hope to continue to do that and, you know, show people like this is something you should continue to watch. And not only watch Iowa women's basketball, like there's tremendous basketball all across the country, and, you know, it's been that way for a while, but I'm glad they're just catching on. Yeah, and I hope they stay.
Caitlin, you're probably gonna downplay this, but I'm gonna try anyway. You're about 800 points away from Kelsey Plum's all-time record for scoring in a career. Is that something you think about at all?
I mean, I knew I was probably gonna have a chance to break it, but it's not something I'm gonna be like actively seeking out. Obviously, I'm sure our coaches will tell me if I'm at a game where I get close to that number, which would probably be one of our last regular season games or in the conference tournament. But I think if I just continue to be the player I am and do the things that I've always done, that'll come. And yeah, it's not anything like I'll live just as a happy life if I never break Kelsey Plum's record. But you know, I think I loved Kelsey Plum growing up. She obviously took Washington, which was a team very similar to Iowa, who was really good, had a great coach in Mike Neighbors, had really great players, and really hadn't been to the Final Four, and took a program that wasn't, you know, hadn't always been there, and they did it. So she was somebody that I kind of idolized. So it's cool to kind of be in that position. She's somebody I even watched still in the W as she plays for the Aces, has had a really successful career and one of my favorite players. So it's not something I'm like counting down the numbers to at all. And if I never get there, that'll be fine. But yeah, I know it's a possibility for me this year.
Coach Bluter said that even with all the awards over the offseason and in the season for that matter, going into this coming year, that you've stayed motivated. Is that something that's just intrinsic? Is it something that you have to work on?
No, I think it's just kind of how I am. Like, I hate not being in the gym. If I am not there one day, like, it kills me. And I think it's been like really great this summer. We had our foreign trip, so we had quite a few practices, but once we got back, we didn't have as many practices, and it was really a time where I could get better individually and ask Tanaya to work out a lot, and work on things that I wanted to get better at, and individual things that the coaches thought I could get better at. And you don't always get a ton of that time when you're trying to, you know, build a new team and use practice hours and things like that. So I think that was the biggest thing for myself, is I'm somebody that I love being in the gym. It's just kind of second nature to me. It's, you know, a calming thing. It's something that I'm just comfortable doing, but that's also where all my confidence stems from, is the time I put in the gym, you know, the hours working on my game. It just, you know, kind of builds my confidence up. And, you know, when I step on the court to play a game, it's like, I know, like, I can go out there and make those shots because that's, you know, the time I spend in the gym. And yeah, I think it's been a really unique summer for me, getting, you know, extra time to work on individual things that I want to get better at, maybe more so than any other summer that I've had here.
What are some of those things?
The off-the-chart popularity that you have, the team has, this program, sold-out season, playing in a football stadium, that's going to bring on added pressure, expectations, scrutiny. How do you think you and the team will balance that if, God forbid, you lose 2 games in a row or something like that.
Yeah.
And that adds to it on social media and what have you.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be much different from years previous. Obviously, our expectations were very, very lofty last year. We had a group that had played 3 years together, and it was like, all right, this is our final time around. To me, that's about the most pressure you can get. I understand we're going to be playing in front of a ton of fans. There's more eyes on us more than ever. But, you know, there might be a few learning experiences for this team. You know, there's people that are going to play that haven't really got those minutes or been in end-of-game situations. So, like I said earlier, I think the biggest thing is, you know, being a voice in the locker room to help them understand, you know, our season is not made or broken by one win or loss. When I was a freshman, I probably thought it was. But I think understanding now that's not really how it goes. And yeah, I think Coach Bluder always says pressure is a privilege, and that's something that, you know, you welcome. I wouldn't want it any other way. The girls in the locker room wouldn't want it any other way. Is, you know, we want to be ranked in the top 10. We want a sold-out arena. We want fans on the road booing us. Like, that's what a competitor wants. So it's you welcome it, you enjoy it, and at the end of the day, you understand, like, this is special. Like, don't be afraid of it. Don't run away from it. Just enjoy it and soak it in, because no other Iowa women's basketball team in history has had an opportunity to be in an environment like this. So I'm just going to try to enjoy it, and, you know, if we lose a game that we should have won, you know, I know our world's not going to be broken. It's just you come back the next day and get better, and, you know, hopefully lead this team to a lot of success at the end of the year.
Do you have a pregame ritual, and if so, what is it?
Not really. I mean, we all kind of just do the same routine. We eat 4 hours before a game, come back 2 hours before, and then kind of just get ready and go. I don't really do anything crazy, no.
Did you watch the Nebraska volleyball outdoor game?
I did.
I mean, just kind of, what was going through your mind when you watched that unfold?
Yeah, well, I was like, first of all, this counts towards their actual record. I'm not sure I would sign up for a basketball game if it counted for my actual record outside. But no, I thought it was incredible. I've always been a fan of Nebraska volleyball. I think what they do is incredible. I think they sell out like basically every game. They're always ranked in the top 5. But they're also playing Nebraska Omaha, so it's basically just a win for the state of Nebraska. My mom actually graduated from there, so I have a lot of family from there. But yeah, I think it's just super cool. I think it shows how excited people are about women's sports in general. It doesn't only have to be basketball. It doesn't only have to be volleyball, you know, softball, whatever it is. It's just super cool, and I can't imagine those girls' feelings when they walked out of the tunnel to however 90,000 or whatever it was, 90,000 plus people screaming for them. I just know that had to be one of the coolest feelings. So I know me and Coach Reno were texting during the whole thing. We're like, man, like, this is so cool. But Scotty McCreary was performing after, so we're like, we got to bring somebody to Kenneth. Like, we have to get it done. Breaking news, we haven't. No, so it was just super cool, and I'm a fan of women's sports, so it was fun to watch.
Who did you want to get to perform?
Oh, jeez. There would be a lot of people. Taylor Swift, yeah, I don't think that's on her bucket list right now. I don't know. A lot of people. I would sign up for anything, but I don't know.
Travis Scott, he shouted you out.
Yeah, Travis Scott, that would probably be an insane show. Yeah, there would be a lot of people.
Yeah, and I know you said you're prepared to shoot 2 air balls during the game just because outside. I guess how are you and the rest of the team like kind of adjusted to that? Because I think the depth perception part.
Yeah, there's nothing you can really do to prepare for it. I guess the depth perception will be kind of weird, I'm guessing. But honestly, when you play in some of those arenas, like, I don't know, I think back to my freshman year when we played inside of the Alamo Dome or whatever it is in San Antonio, like, the depth perception was really weird. But like, once you get in the flow of the game, it's not really something you're like just thinking about all the time. And then obviously you can't really factor in for outside. I'm not going to go and work out at a park. I'm just not going to do that. But we are going to take a shoot around the morning before, so it'll be nice to get out there and be able to, you know, shoot around and kind of see the environment. So when we go out and scrimmage, we're not going to just be completely blind. We're going to have some sort of, you know, feel for the court and what it's like. But yeah, the depth perception when you first walk in an arena can be a little different, but once the game starts flowing, it's not really something that you think about too much.
There's a lot
Kate
of
Martin?
talk about your individual legacy, but I know you've been an advocate for women's sports basically since you started playing. How important is it for you just to be the face of trying to push women's college basketball forward, and just for the, being a part of a team that really has elevated women's college basketball?
Yeah, I think it's really cool, and it's something that, I enjoy. It's not anything I shy away of. If I have to be the face of women's basketball or women's college basketball, I think that's a really good thing. I think that's cool. I think it's something that's only going to help the game grow more, and it's not anything that I feel comes with a lot of pressure. I think it's just, this has come because of the way you've played basketball and the way you've carried yourself, so just continue to be you. And I think that's the coolest thing, and Coach Bluder's allowed me to thrive and be who I am. That's one of the reasons I came to Iowa, is because one, the offense we run is perfectly set to the type of player that I am, and she doesn't handcuff me to running a play every single time down the floor, or being somebody that I'm not. She lets all 5 girls that are on the court at one time just be them. And I think that's been the biggest thing for me to be successful, is I've just been myself, whether that's playing with emotion or shooting shots that maybe some people don't love, or I don't know, celebrating on the bench. Coach Bluder just allows us to be ourselves, and that's I think another reason why people are attracted to supporting our team, is they can see the emotion and passion and love that we have for one another, and that's a really fun thing to support.
What does Kate Martin mean to you as a friend and as a teammate?
Yeah. Oh, Kate's awesome. I'm gonna try to figure out a way to get her back for her 7th year if I come back, because I don't want to have to come back if she's not here. But like I said, I'm gonna treat this like it is my last year. But Kate's just an incredible individual. She's somebody that will always reach out to you if you have something going on, and honestly, if you never tell her you have something going on, she's gonna figure it out herself, because she just has that leadership instinct inside of her. She's probably the best leader I've ever been around in my entire life. Maybe will be the best leader I've ever been around for my entire life. She just has every single person's back on this team. No matter if she's your best friend off the court, no matter if you don't really talk off the court, she's gonna have your back every single day. And the thing about Kate is she's competitively wired just like I am. So me and Kate can get into it, but that's what I love about her, is we'll butt heads a little bit and compete when we scrimmage, but at the end of the day, we're gonna go in the locker room and joke with each other and have fun. That's the type of teammate that she is, and how much fun she is to play with is because she's just as competitive as I am. There was this clip going around where when I would get feisty, Kate would be the first one to be there and have my back, which was really funny. But no, she's tremendous, and I'm lucky enough to have convinced her to come back for her last year, and I will work on finding a way to get her back for another year if I'm here too.
What will be your decision-making process as to whether or not you decide to come back for year 5, or go be the first pick in the WNBA draft?
Yeah, I guess the biggest thing for myself is just, I'm gonna go based off of my gut. At the end of the day, I think that's the biggest thing that I should trust, is I'm gonna know when I need to know if I wanna stay or if I wanna go. And I think it was very similar to my college decision. It feels weird. I feel like I'm in the recruiting process in a way again, but to a lower extent. But I feel like it's really not something that I think about every single day. It's not something that I let weigh on me. It's I'm focused on helping this team be the best team they can be, and when I know that decision, all of you will know. And I think the biggest thing is I'm just gonna trust my gut. I'm not gonna do research on what's better and all this stuff and find data. I'm just gonna trust my gut and go with that. And I think that's the most telling thing, and that was the most telling thing for me in my recruiting process. I knew there was a lot of really good options, but in my heart, I wanted to be here, and that's why I selected this place. And I think it's going to be the same when I, make the decision to stay here or leave.
Who have you seen from the other guards around you on this team? Who have you seen step up kind of at the guard position this summer? Is there anyone in particular that you really felt like has made a big jump?
Yeah, I think honestly, everybody's playing really, really good. And it stinks because it's hard to find minutes for 13, 14 girls. But I think Molly has done a really, really good job. I think she's just playing with a different confidence level that maybe she didn't have at times last year. But I also think she understands, we lost a lot of people that scored a lot of points. She needs to go into the game with the mindset of, yeah, I can score the ball. And she's one of those people that puts in a lot of time in the gym. So, I just tell her, trust that work. You're really good. And everybody always tells her, like, don't pass up shots, like, shoot the ball, like, you're really good. So I would say Molly Taylor's shooting it really well. And I think Kylie's coming back really well, too. Obviously it's very hard to come back from an injury like that. And, I think just helping build her confidence back up. But she's shooting the ball really well. She's moving really well. She seems like she's pretty confident on that leg. And, those are the people that you just need to continue to pump confidence into because we're going to need them.
Coach,
Yeah,
Mark,
this is back to-
How do you, is there one thing you want to be better at?
One thing I want to be better at.
As good as you have.
I think there's a lot of things I can be better at. I think the biggest thing, turnover wise, like I can still cut down those numbers. And I think that'll be important whether whenever I decide to move on, like that's something at the professional level, like I can't average 3 turnovers a game. That's just not a realistic thought. And I think also, like I talked about earlier, like I wanted to get better at shooting off of screens and being more comfortable getting my feet set and getting shots off. And I think that can also translate to the next level when I decide to go is, I might not play with the ball in my hands for 40 minutes. Might not how it's gonna be. I might be playing the 2, I might be playing the 3. So I need to be comfortable moving without the ball and getting my feet set and being able to get my shot off. So I think that's another thing I worked on. And then just in practices, working hard defensively, I still think that's something I can get better at. And something I try to work really hard at when we're working on them in practice, whether it's one-on-one, whether it's closeouts, whether it's 5-on-5. I think it's something that I can continue to develop.
Coach Bluder's